Hello, I'm delighted to be able to give another presentation at this year's Swiss Philanthropy Studies Workshop. This time I have brought along a topic that I have repeatedly encountered in my consulting work over the past 5 years. The relationship between a political elected authority and an NGO that has a service mandate from the state. In concrete terms, this means that the state has a task to deliver a service, but decides to commission another organization to do it. The reason for this is often a mixture of a lack of expertise on the part of the authority and the hope that the NGO can deliver the service more cheaply and preferably better. I'm pursuing the following goals with this presentation. On the one hand, I would like to show you the challenges that arise for both clients and contractors when governments are outsourcing tasks, and then I like to present tools that can be used to overcome these challenges. I hope to be able to give ideas for possible research topics and to shed light on aspects that will bring you closer to an area of management tasks in both public and non-profit organizations. In doing so, I will use approaches from the case teaching method. First of all, I would like to present the case to you. It contains two events from various consulting mandates, and I also use it in the municipal clerk training program of the Northwest Swiss cantons. Of course, the municipality of Montwilen does not exist. I will then briefly present the principal agent theory, which attempts to explain aspects of the problems described. Due to time constraints, there will be no task or group work for you, which would be an important part of case teaching. But I will go straight to the solutions and introduce you to two tools that are generally known but are far too often not applied correctly at the community level. At the end, I would like to conclude the presentation with the lessons learned and enter into a discussion with you. I ask you to read the case independently. I believe you have all discovered the failings that have led to this difficult situation. As the municipal council has withdrawn from the foundation board, there is no longer a direct link between the two organizations. Clear communication structures should have been developed to ensure the further development of the content of the service. As the service agreement is only aimed at quantitative aspects, it cannot compensate for this shortcoming. There is no clear project mandate with a defined qualitative, what services should the retirement center provide in the future, and quantitative, what scope should the services have, framework. The Board of Trustees draw up a concept and, based on this, plans a building that is very progressive from a technical point of view. However, it does not involve the municipal council. The municipal council is surprised with the result, and the subsequent communication is not solution-orientated, wanting to understand the other party, and appreciative, but based on one's own position. The municipal council wants to delegate strategic and operational responsibility, but it can only do this in part because ultimately it always has political responsibility. It is also the project owner and must actively fulfill this role, assume responsibility and management. He should have communicated his assumptions or at least checked whether the Board of Trustees also sees it that way. The Board of Trustees assumes a very autonomous position and overlooks the fact that the foundation, as a municipal foundation, is not as autonomous as other foundations, and should therefore have involved the municipal council more closely. As a honorary body, the motivation to work is very much dependent on the appreciation that the Board of Trustees receives. The lack of appreciation leads to frustration among the members of the Board of Trustees and the managing director, who then resign. The principal-agent theory describes the relationship between management bodies such as boards of directors, boards of trustees, executive boards, and their management teams. In other words, the relationship between the strategic and operational bodies. It is assumed that the operating body has an information advantage over the strategic body, due to its expertise and knowledge gained from day-to-day business. The theory calls this an information asymmetry, which means that the strategic body is unable to assess the work of the operational body. In addition, the theory states that the two bodies pursue different goals that are related to their position, individual profit maximization. This can lead to actions that are hidden from each other party. The special thing about our case is that, in principle, both bodies see themselves in the role of principals and do not recognize that the municipal council is acting as a principal and the foundation board as an agent on behalf of the municipal council. What then happened is that, due to the conscious or unconscious information asymmetry, the municipal council was unable to perform its duties as principal, even if he had wanted to. As the municipal council was not aware of its responsibilities and duties as a principal, and therefore did not fulfill them, the blame for this information asymmetry and the hidden actions does not only lie with the foundation board. The theory, which was primarily developed for for-profit organizations, now proposes approaches that can be used to eliminate information asymmetry and the pursuit of vested interests. This can be stringent control mechanisms, incentive systems, but also aspects of corporate culture, such as reputation or trust. In this case, both parties must be aware of the tasks, rights, and obligations that the respective roles entail and fulfill them consistently. On the part of the municipal council, this means first of all clearly defining the framework and expectations of the service and then installing mechanisms to ensure good controlling. Honest appreciation for the voluntary work performed would then be another aspect that leads to a good principal-agent relationship. From the role of agent, the Board of Trustees would in turn have to ensure regular reporting with targeted information. This would include the involvement of the municipal council in the concept development. In terms of concrete implementation, this means that for recurring services, the relevant aspects must be clearly described in the service agreement, and not only the quantitative expectations, but also the social impact, which ultimately corresponds to the political strategy and provides a content framework, must be defined. The other aspects, such as reporting, remuneration, etc., are often not forgotten in such contracts. Municipal councils are usually aware of the relationship with commissioned organizations via the service agreement. More often forgotten is the regulation of a project via a clear project mandate, and their responsibility as project owner is often not clear to the municipal councils. This was also the case with our project in this case study. The design of the new building should have been awarded as a clear project contract with corresponding project planning. Then both of the municipal council and the foundation board would have had the necessary framework conditions for the successful implementation of the project and would have been able to fulfill their role. The municipal council is elected by the people and therefore politically responsible for all public services in the municipality. It cannot delegate this responsibility. He must also actively assume this strategic responsibility, but can of course seek support in doing so. If he make use of such support, in the principal-agent theory this would be referred to as commissioning an agent, he must be aware of the challenges of this relationship and actively fulfill his role. Any form of task delegation must be clearly regulated, both quantitatively and strategically in terms of content. The agent, in this case the Board of Trustees, must be aware that political responsibility always lies with the principal. If it senses that the municipal council is unwilling or unable to assume this responsibility, then it must actively demand for it. In addition, the principal expectation must be clearly defined and competencies in this relationship must be clearly regulated.